One day, in the heart of the African jungle, the air hung heavy with the scent of wet earth and acacia. The tall grasses swayed gently in the warm breeze, and the only sounds were the distant chatter of monkeys and the hum of insects. It was a scene of tranquil beauty, a perfect summer's day. But beneath this veneer of peace, danger lurked unseen, waiting to shatter the tranquility. Suddenly, the calm was shattered. A blood-curdling scream tore through the stillness. It was not the call of a bird, the roar of a monkey, or the grunt of a warthog. No, this was deeper, more urgent, filled with primal fear. It was the desperate cry of a lion cub, a plea for help echoing through the thick foliage. Somewhere far from the pride's territory, a tiny cub found itself in grave peril. Its paw had slipped and was caught between the gnarled roots of an ancient fig tree. Its small body shook with terror as it struggled to free itself from the sticky situation. But the more it struggled, the deeper its paw sank into the mud, making escape seem impossible. As if fate was conspiring against it, the cub realized with growing horror that it was alone. Its mother was nowhere in sight, and the cries of distress grew louder, more desperate with each passing moment. Unknown to the cub, a lurking danger was aware of its plight. A pack of hyenas, their snouts twitching, their eyes gleaming with malicious intent, had heard the cub's desperate cries. Their laughter, a chilling sound in itself, echoed through the trees, growing closer every second. For the cub, each cackle was a fresh stab of fear, a reminder of the danger that lurked nearby. Trapped, terrified, and with no adult lion around to protect it, the little cub's fate seemed precarious at best. The hyenas, notorious for their scavenging and their ruthless attacks on cubs, represented the worst of the wild's dangers. Determined not to be caught, the cub gathered every ounce of strength it possessed and let out another mighty scream, its voice ringing through the stillness of the jungle, hoping desperately to attract the attention of any passing creature, maybe a passing warthog, a lone buffalo, or even a patrolling leopard. Any predator or scavenger would do as long as they could save it from the approaching hyenas. And then from the distance, as if answering the cub's desperate call, came an unexpected response. An earth-shaking trumpet reverberated through the trees, startling the hyenas in their tracks. Emerging from a cloud of dust, a massive elephant, its ears wide and tusks gleaming, marched purposefully toward the sound of the cub's cries. Every step the giant took shook the ground, sending a clear message to anyone who dared threaten the little one. Hyenas, known for their swiftness and agility, froze in their tracks. Their bravado from moments ago evaporated, replaced by a sudden surge of uncertainty. They knew of the elephant's formidable strength and were hesitant to risk angering such a powerful opponent. Circling cautiously, they growled softly, trying to decide whether to defy the approaching giant or heed its warning and retreat. The elephant, oblivious to the drama it had stumbled upon, continued its march. When it finally stopped, it towered over the trapped cub. Its presence alone, intimidating enough to make the hyenas reconsider their attack. For a moment, an uneasy silence fell over the clearing. The hyenas, sensing the shift in power, began to inch away, their earlier confidence forgotten. Suddenly, as if awakened from a dream, the cub's eyes widened in panic as it realized the elephant's imposing figure blocking its path. In that instant, it understood that it had been discovered. The hyenas, sensing an opportunity, let out a chorus of barks and lunged toward the cub, eager to end its ordeal and claim a swift victory. But before they could reach their unsuspecting prey, the elephant made its move. With a speed that belied its size, it charged forward, its tusks lowered, scattering the hyenas who yelped in surprise and pain as they were sent sprawling across the ground. The element of surprise, along with its sheer strength and size, gave the elephant the upper hand. The charge was a resounding success. It let out a victorious trumpet, its loud rumble echoing through the trees as it stood guard over the frightened cub. The hyenas, dazed but not defeated, regrouped quickly, their eyes flashing with animosity. They circled the elephant, debating their next move. They outnumbered the elephant, and if they attacked together, they might stand a chance. But the thought of facing the elephant's tusks and its sheer bulk was daunting. In the end, the threat of the elephant proved too great. They retreated into the tall grasses, their frustrated growls echoing in the giant's wake. Seeing the hyenas scatter, the elephant turned its attention back to the cub. Gently, carefully using its trunk, it began to push the stubborn roots apart, freeing the cub from its muddy prison. With each movement, the elephant showed patience and care, ensuring that it did not hurt the helpless cub in its haste to free it. Finally, with a gentle nudge, it managed to dislodge the cub completely. The cub, shaken but unharmed, struggled to its feet and took a tentative step forward. It was stiff from being stuck, and fear still lingered in its eyes. Then, as if sensing the cub's apprehension, the elephant trumpeted softly, a reassuring sound that echoed through the trees. It dipped its head in what seemed like a gesture of comfort and stayed motionless, keeping a watchful eye on the cub. The cub, after a moment, slowly began to explore its surroundings, still wary but also curious. It sniffed the air, tasting the sweet scent of freedom, of wet soil, and of life. The cub, emboldened by the elephant's presence, ventured closer to its unlikely savior. Perhaps it was the cub's innocence, its vulnerability, or simply the bond created in that shared moment of peril. But the elephant seemed to understand the cub's gratitude. As the cub drew closer, the elephant leaned down, allowing the cub to climb onto its broad back. There, high above the ground, safe and secure, the cub felt a sense of relief wash over it. The rhythmic swaying of the elephant's gait soothed it, lulling it into a state of relaxation. Despite the trauma of its ordeal, a spark of joy flickered in its eyes as it basked in the unexpected kindness of a stranger. At that moment, the elephant, acting on instinct and empathy, decided to escort the cub back to the pride. It trumpeted softly, communicating its intentions to the cub. Together, the unlikely duo began their journey through the dense undergrowth. The cub clung tightly to the elephant's back, burying its head in the rough wrinkles of its hide, seeking comfort and reassurance. As they moved through the familiar territory, the cub occasionally called out, hoping to alert its mother to its location. The elephant, attuned to the cub's needs, responded with soft rumbles, its voice echoing through the trees. It was as if the elephant was guiding not just the cub, but also the pride to their rendezvous point. And then the sounds reached the ears of the pride. A low growl rumbled in the chest of a passing lioness, quickly followed by the distinctive bark of a lion. Moments later, the rest of the pride appeared, their eyes sharp and alert. Among them was the cub's mother, her face etched with worry and anxiety. As soon as she saw her cub safe on the elephant's back, her relief was palpable. The pride surrounded the elephant, their gazes expressing gratitude and perhaps a touch of awe. The lioness, stepping forward, nuzzled the cub, checking for any signs of injury. Only when she was sure her cub was all right did she turn her attention to the elephant. In that brief moment, the two female leaders of their respective prides locked eyes, acknowledging the debt of gratitude the lions owed to the elephant. The elephant, its duty done, trumpeted one last time, a final farewell. Slowly, it turned and began to walk back into the sheltering trees, disappearing from sight as quickly as it had arrived. The pride watched it go, their silence speaking volumes of their respect and admiration for the gentle giant. The lioness, with her gaze fixed on the spot where the elephant had disappeared, knew that she owed the giant a debt of gratitude that could never be repaid. The elephant, the king of the jungle, had not just saved a cub, it had shown a rare act of kindness, compassion, and bravery. In that moment, the boundaries of their different worlds seemed to blur, united by a common experience and a shared respect. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. As the pride settled down for the night, the grateful lioness, with the cub nestled beside her, looked up at the star-studded sky. She thought of the elephant, its massive form silhouetted against the fading light, a true embodiment of strength and gentleness. The cub, snuggled close to its mother, stirred and let out a tiny purr. In the safety of the pride, the cub drifted off to sleep, dreaming of its adventure and its unlikely hero, a gentle giant with a trumpet as big as its heart. The story of the cub's rescue spread through the savannah like wildfire. Each animal, when it heard the tale, shook its head in admiration for the elephant's bravery and the cub's resilience. And so the legend grew, a testament to the elephant's extraordinary act of kindness and the unbreakable spirit of the cub.